So I was looking back at your LinkedIn profile, and yeah, it has been over 20 years of like, I mean, you have a classic career trajectory of like assistant HR, all the way up to the last three or four companies being the chief people officer. So I just like to reflect a little bit back into your career history um, in that specific role and just ask you from when you started, what's different about it? What's changed in that role? Are there things that are easier now versus harder now, and what hasn't changed? Just let's just kind of get nerdy on the chief people officer career track for a second.
Yeah, so I think even in the time that I've done it, there's been a shift in I don't know, call it a realization or an understanding of the role that a chief people officer or that an HR function could play in a business. And so, at the beginning, I spent a lot of time filing paperwork and putting it was still like very analog, very manual, and there was still a lot of HR that was about pushing paper and about tracking things, and all of that is still there, but we've have some technological innovations that just make that stuff happen. And so we sort of put all that manual administrative work to the side and we get to the place where HR can actually provide a lot more value in businesses when we're thinking about what talent should look like, how to organize your company, how to build teams, and really how to be a partner to your executive leadership team and helping them build and grow this great business and taking these strategic objectives, putting them into actions, and seeing what comes out at the end of the day. So a lot of the function is still there. It's like I do a lot of the same stuff I was doing 20 years ago, but I do it in a different way. And then I think as I've grown in this function, and as I've seen a lot of different industries and a lot of different types of companies, like I've been able to change how I present HR in an organization and what works and what doesn't. I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Um, it sounds like there is a philosophical slash expectations shift
Mm-hmm.
from an HR person being kind of like the accountant around people, like have they got their payroll set up or the kind of the administrative stuff to um, a recognition by companies that people are one of, if not the most valuable intellectual property asset the company has, and that HR is responsible for like making sure that is a healthy asset.
Yeah, I often had this joke when um, I just exited one company and I was out interviewing for another and working with a couple of firms on that. And every like first interview I went with, there must have been like a presentation at some PE event somewhere saying how important the chief people officer now is in private equity. Like they're like 10 years ago it was the CFO and the rationalization of that, and now we've come to this part where it's the people. And so you started to feel that. You started to feel that in the leaders that were coming into these businesses and how they wanted to partner and leverage the people opportunities in the business. So there definitely has been an environmental change there and the recognition of, most companies spend more money on people than on anything else. We all look at the fancy computers we have or the big office buildings, and it doesn't even scratch the surface of the investment that we make bringing people in the door and trying to get them productive. And so I think it's just a real understanding of if you have somebody who can help you leverage that, then that's going to, have great returns for your business.